I cannot believe that this movie is real. I have no idea why, but someone genuinely thought this would be a good idea for a movie. Karen. So Karen is a new film just came out, and I already can't be arsed with it. So Karen, in a nutshell, she is a Karen. She is an entitled, racist white woman, and there's a black couple that move in next door to her, and she's not a fan of this. So she does everything she can to get them out of the neighbourhood. And as the movie progresses, the methods in which she employs get, you know, bigger and bigger. I will say, I thought this movie was a joke. So I seen the trailer for it like a month ago, and I thought it was just one of these kind of fan-made, I say fan, no one's a fan of Karen's, you know, like an independent trailer, which isn't real, just someone's done it for a bit of a laugh, or like a fake movie that's going to come out. Nope. This is legitimate. I seen it came out online and I just had to watch it more because I was interested in what they were going to do with it rather than I thought it was good. And I'm very glad I went in with those expectations. Karen is played by Taryn Manning. I think that's how you say her name. And I've only ever seen her play a drug addict, someone just a little bit unhinged. Look at, you know, Sons of Anarchy or Orange is the New Black are the two main things I know her from. And in those, she was really good. And it's a bit typecasty, but here she's playing a single middle-aged Karen, and it doesn't work for her. You know, she's got the shit-eating grin down for this movie, and that, I believe, was key. Other than that, everything feels quite stale. It's not quite flowing whenever she's talking. It's very rigid, and I appreciate that a lot of that comes from the conversations where she's trying to be nice, so there's like a falsity to it. But even that can't excuse the acting here. So you've got Malik and Imani that move in. They two between each other have really good chemistry. I quite like them as a couple. They were very believable as a couple, and you do feel for them. Almost as soon as they move in, Karen next door, she introduces herself, she kicks up fuss about the bins not been taken back on time, and then that progresses to like immediately setting up loads of cameras on her house that they realise are facing into Malik and Imani's house. And this is where the tensions start to rise, because, you know, they'll call her out for that. It's all just through shit-eating grins. I just hate Karens so much, and why the fuck was this a movie? Like, they must just be trying to bank on interest, not, you know, a good trailer, a good movie for people to recommend to people. Let's look at this as a movie and just go through the plot. She's got two kids, and a lot of the interactions happen outside the front of their houses, because, you know, it's a cul-de-sac kind of in the suburbs, and they interact there when maybe the kids are out playing, or the couple are taking the bins out, or going to their car, or coming back from work, something like that. And Karen is part of the homeowners association, where they have a set of rules if you're living in the area. We don't really have homeowners associations here, so I think that's what they're all about. It's her goal to get these people out. However, the rest of the homeowners association don't really give a fuck. One person likes the diversity in the neighbourhood, so it's kind of that reverse racism, I suppose, but the other ones just don't care. They are more than happy as long as they stick to the rules. So Karen's brother as well is in the police. She's not just entitled, but she's that way where she feels she has this power because she's got a police officer on speed dial who will back her up. This all, as the movie progresses, you realise there's a lot of kind of deep-rooted racism here, but she ends up just crushing on the man here that's moved in, Malik. You know, they've not got their blinds up yet, so Malik and Imani are getting down to it. Her son's watching through the window, goes off her tits at him, gets him out the room, but then she just stands and watches and gets a wee bit of the feels. Of course she hates Imani now, however, she just keeps crushing on Malik. And this is why the movie felt really stale for me, is because I picked up on the kind of formula that every scene was doing. And I mean almost every scene. And once you see that, none of it works. Not that it was really working in the first place. There'll be a scene, a nice interaction, and everything's going well, and then suddenly a Karen appears and just cuts through the tension. Not in like a stealing the scene kind of way, more in just the good moment's now over, we just need to slowly watch a little bit of shit and then it'll move on to the next scene, and that just rinse and repeats for the entire movie, where she jumps out from behind a car at one point, she's just constantly coming out her house if her kids are there. Not even that, she just fucking appears. They'll be coming back in their house, maybe they've stopped at the top of their driveway, the camera pans round and she's just fucking there. It's just that shit-eating grin, passive racist shit that she says. The message message the movie's probably going for here is the fact that Karens are awful, don't be Karens. But where they've kind of lived before this movie existed was just in, you know, viral videos, social media, calling people out to not be Karens. But now that it's a movie, she's a villain. And also, Karens exist in this world, and they even highlight how it's a bit funny that Karen is called Karen. It's not that funny. Other things happen. Do you remember there's a viral video that went around? The white woman on the phone to the police claiming she was getting harassed and attacked by a black guy that was just out bird watching, doing absolutely no wrong, and this just blew up and she lost her job and everything. They kind of reenact that in here. And I don't know, it just feels in quite bad taste that they do that, and it illustrated quite a point that was going on from both sides. The woman acting the way she was, whilst the guy was just out bird watching and doing no wrong, yet she tried to spin a narrative on it. So when they reenact it in the movie, it's almost the same thing. There's a few guys coming towards her and she just acts like the woman in that video. She's backing off, pretends to cry on the phone until the police come, and her brother is the one that comes and arrests the guys. The things that happen in this movie are shit. Like, drugs get planted on the couple. More than that, I really don't recommend you watch this movie, but all I'll say is more than that happens and it just gets worse and worse. I can't stand condescending people either, and she's fucking one of them as well. So the couple have a housewarming and invite all their friends, and Karen kind of wiggles her way into getting an invite out of that passive aggression and kind of guilts the woman into it, so she comes along. The film just goes straight into her racist bullshit. You know, there's not much subtlety to this film. That's the problem. Well, there's a few problems with it. You know, once she's in the house, she just, one of the first things that comes out her mouth when she sits down is the fact that she personally didn't own any slaves, so it's fine, which obviously pisses them off, and rightly so. And then she's kicked out, and the scene's over at that point. Now, I don't know if they just rushed this to try and get the movie out at like the height of Karens, but I'll be honest, I don't see that often anymore. I'm not saying they don't exist. However, there was a point where there was just video after video appearing online, doing its rounds on social media of Karens. I think they've rushed it to like capitalise on that, but it's also kind of past at the moment. They've done themselves no service by rushing it whatsoever, because it's just not good. A couple of the scenes in here, when it's the police violence towards Malik, that shit was brutal. It was not just in the movie, but you've seen videos like it online. It kind of took you back a little, and they were heavy, but that was a minor part of this movie. Like, it was just so goddamn slow, this film. And I will say, if you have the time to watch this, watch anything else or do anything else with your time. I can't recommend it, and I wouldn't even say, look, if you're interested in what they've done with it, watch it like I did. It's not worth it. Karens exist in the world. We don't need to make them into movie villains, because they are fucking villains already in the real world. Just doesn't feel right as well. Anyway, they were my thoughts on Karen. Have you seen it? Kind of hope you haven't for your own sanity. But if you have, do you agree with me or not? Let me know down below. And whilst you're down there, if you want to hit that like button, even subscribe to see everything coming out, that would be very much appreciated. But thank you so much for watching.